I made this video today. My daughter-in-law sent it to me, and it's all about making the clouds reflect the sun away. What it is I've been recording a bit of this video to add in because I was showing Jimbo Ron, original Stormtrooper channel. I think his videos are still there. This is Ron, and he took, let me just see if I can see it. That's it. He took the sun, the object underneath. It's the moon with this object underneath. So I wondered what everybody's thoughts were on that. So we'll just let this little video play. It was amongst all these other things that I'd filmed on him when I first started talking to him. And I told you before, poor Ron, the police shot him at his property, 13 bullets. But when he lay dead on the floor, the police were still shooting. They even were shooting with cars passing. No one stopped the traffic. It must have been absolute bedlam. But if they were still shooting when he was dead, something else happened and they lied, if that's what they did. And they made it look like it was all Ron's fault, but it obviously wasn't. But anyway, let's play a little tiny bit of this video about that.
The more I look, the more I find. See the black cube? The more I look, the more I find.
There was also a black cube in the moon footage with whatever this is underneath. There's a black cube there. Just go back a bit. This is the black cube. See it? Oh look, and an orb's come out. But anyway, oh, that is there. But black cube. My daughter-in-law passed me this post. She thought it quite interesting. And the really bizarre thing is that it is now a year ago since dear Ron was murdered outside his house by the police. And what it was is he was catching some very weird footage of something sort of almost up there with the sun. I still find that quite difficult because, say we had one sun, it would have to do it for the whole place. But we seem to have our own sun, and I don't know how they would do it. But this comes up about experiments to reflect sunlight one step closer. So we'll just put this on. So it was done on the 7th of May 2025. It wasn't very long ago. Here we go. So let's just wait for it to go down to there. So controversial experiments exploring the science around reflecting sunlight with an aim to bring about global cooling has been announced. What the hell are they on about? Well, there is no globe. But also, we've had the most terriblest weather for years. We had one summer that was quite nice about 4 or 5 years ago, but we had some nice summers in the 80s, and when I looked it up, it said that we'd gone into a mini ice age in the 2000s. It wasn't so bad then, but remember we had that horrible year with ice that we were driving around on ice for weeks. In America, they hold a tea towel out and it's frozen in a second. And then we had some terrible summers after that. You know, one summer it took till June, it was a couple of years ago, it took till June before it actually started to become summer, or spring, should I say, spring, but it's been almost summer since April. We've had weather like this since April, and they say all this crap about us. They say that we're an island and that we get this cloud. But me and Jimbo went to the Isle of Wight. It's only maybe a mile, say 2 miles out at sea, not even that, but it's at the end of an estuary. And the weather was a lot more settled there than it was in the UK, and that island is much, 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 much smaller. So how could they have better weather if it's all to do with islands getting clouds? And also, me and Jimbo have been to Guernsey. It was lovely there. It was, you know, when you looked at the sandy beaches, you could think that you were in New York or Ibiza or Mallorca. Ibiza, Minorca, yeah, those three. Or Spain. It was so beautiful. So, and they're an island stuck out near France, and they had much more settled weather than we do. So it must be an absolute load of rubbish. Why we have been punnelled with thousands of miles of cloud for years, God only knows if we can get... We've got normal clouds at the moment. I have seen a few of the harpy things up in the sky, but right now these are normal clouds. This is what we should see, normal clouds. But anyway, let's carry on with the video. I've had my little say now. So why can't we have that more often then? You know, if you look at history, it says that when the Romans were here back then, it was Mediterranean-like here. Anyway, so maybe it isn't global warming, it's what happens to us. The weather changes, I don't know. But anyway, let's just read that. So, Advanced Research... Still going. Advanced Research Innovation Agency, a government-backed body, is funding nearly 60 million that could allow real-world experts, including the UK, as a part of exploring climate cooling programme. Projects in solar radiation modification will improve trying to thicken Antarctic ice sea and make clouds more reflective. What the hell is this? We've got this most if they're doing it, I love it, because we've got the most beautifulest since April. Come on! I've always told Amy, it's raining, it's cloudy, it's raining, it's cloudy. And now, me and Jimbo, when he comes back, has gone to his house to do a few things. We're going in the jacuzzi afterwards. It's wonderful here. Anyway, but our critics have real concerns about the impact of SRM on weather patterns and our health, seeing it as a distraction to drastic decarbonisation. But come on! I've done videos showing how they're messing around with the clouds. It's not something they did yesterday. It's something they've been doing for a very long time, messing around with our weather. Maybe with the clouds. So what, now they're telling us what they've been doing to us for years on end? Well, I don't want them to do it. I never, in my time, voted for anything like this. I don't want it. You don't have my consent. Anyway, let's just go on with the video, because obviously there's a little bit more. But if we all see our own sun, I don't know how this all works, but maybe it is the clouds. They're trying to make the clouds a different reflection, reflect the sun away. What the hell? We've hardly seen the sun properly for years, and this year we're having a nice summer. Anyway, global temperatures in 24 running at 1.6 above industrial levels, temporarily exceeding the target set out by 2015 Paris Agreement. Judgment trajectories. I hope that says trajectories show the well passing 1.5 of low-term warming by the end of the 2030s. While extreme weather is a consequence of climate change, there are concerns of abrupt and potentially irreversible shifts in the climate system. But isn't that probably because of all the things the Romans have been doing to us for years on end? What, and they're blaming us for it? Making us feel like we're hostages underneath them. Some of these shifts, so-called tipping points, such as the collapse of the Antarctic meridional turning over circulation, might be closer to happening within the next century than we'd like. What does that mean? None of us will be there then, will we? While every effort should still be made to reduce global emissions, there is a growing scientific community looking at geoengineering, specifically SRM. We don't need to be geoengineered at all. At all! It's just their way of controlling us and using HARP and the telephone systems, the mobile ones. Anyway, I just want them to stop. I like what I've got now, thanks. It's about flipping time. Yes, but then when it comes like this, because they say it's 26, but it feels more like 32 or something. But I often feel this, and I do feel sometimes that it is microwaved. But anyway, that's what they're saying, is how they could cool the atmosphere. But they're doing that already with planes. How many times have you seen a contrail coming out of a plane? They've been doing it to us for as long as we can remember, and they now make photographs with planes flying with contrails. So that's part of our life, when it's something that they're doing to us. But anyway, yes, well, anyway, we had concrete boats. We had other things in the past. Yeah. And it just seems this never ending problem that they've got to solve for us, when they're just making the problems. Yeah, they run everything. We're in corporations. We're under marital law. So what else? Yeah, this is what else they're doing to us. On top of that, punnel. Anyway, engineering alternatives. So I think you can read that. I think I'd leave it up just for a little bit for you to read, because I don't agree with any of it. You know, they're making changes for something we're not. We're not a round thing spinning. So none of it works in the first place, does it? Anyway, if you want to read this, you can stop if it's going a bit fast. And then you can read the concerns. I just wanted to show you this information that's out and caught my daughter-in-law's eyes. She puts a lot of this stuff on her Instagram. It's about time we had this kind of weather, seriously. It is not very nice to work in, you know. I do cleaning. I clean a school, for goodness sake. It's really hard work. Because it's like you're going into a sauna and then a workout. But anyway, that is the information there. And, you know, me and Amy put a video out earlier in the week talking about them with a low-flying NASA plane. It's a propeller plane, and they put all that money into this propeller plane to fly low and do all these things. So if that's as much money as they've got for a propeller plane, I can't believe this is really... They're just figures they're talking about to make you feel small, because everything's millions and trillions bigger than you are. That's what they've been doing to us for years. And there's just a little bit more information there. Oh, I've gone past that bit, haven't I? I'm going back down again. Sorry about that. Or did I? Is that international legislation? Good. Stay away from it. Leave us alone. I like what we've got. If this is us not being messed around with HARP and all that cloud, I love it. It's about time that we had some nice weather. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. That is the end. Maybe I was just looking there. But anyway, what do you think of that then? Thank you, Carol, my daughter-in-law.